While you were sitting at a train tracks, waiting on a train to pass, I bet it's never occurred to you that the graffiti on the trains passing by is anything more than vandalism, right? To me, it wasn't either. But I guess we're both wrong. My name's Kaitlyn Swells, and today my purpose is to inform the audience on how a pastor can use his occupation as a platform for showing what God values. Today, I will inform you on the various aspects of the ministry field, how a pastor can use his occupation to show that God values human life and to show that the church is an equiper of believers for doing God's redemptive work in the world. After researching the topic of religion, I was able to learn about how someone in the ministry field can use their occupation to exemplify what God values. A pastor is a person in charge or a congregation of a church. 1 Corinthians 3:5-7 tells us that a minister is nothing more than a servant and nothing less. God Questions Ministry says that in the New Testament, ministry is seen as a servant to God and to other people in His name. In Ephesians 4:11-13, the writer lists 5 areas of ministry that reflects the things that God values. It also tells us that we are called to serve God and man, and that Jesus came not to be ministered to or to be served, but to serve and to minister others. Did you know that 150,000 people die every single day unsaved, and most of these not knowing Christ? And the way the Master teaches us that God values human life, therefore we should too. He also values the church and us as individuals working as vessels for Him. Today I'd like to focus on a story that deals with almost everything that God values, including our bodies itself and the value of human life. Taylor Field is an inner-city community pastor in New York who has always had a passion for people. He began volunteering at a graffiti outreach center while in seminary, working with children and youth in literacy programs in a neighborhood comprised of abandoned buildings, drug trafficking, and prostitution. The graffiti center started by inner-city missionaries trying to reach kids by stepping into their own culture. These missionaries created their own Christian graffiti with Christian symbols that covered up the graffiti that the kids had started as a way of reaching out to them. Taylor knew that this was a work of God. Little did he know that one day he would eventually take over the center and it would flourish into a church with 26 different specific ministries that focused on drug rehab, legal advocacy, after-school tutoring, Bible studies, and soup kitchens. And you can actually see in Romans 12:1-2 that this verse is lived out through Taylor Fields, because it tells us that we should present our bodies as a living sacrifice, fully pleasing Him, and to not conform to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And what they did at the Graffiti Center is they reached out, they helped feed kids, clothe people, homeless people, and just tell them about Christ, and that's what it tells us to do, and that's how we should value human life and helping others and using our bodies as a sacrifice to God, and that's what they did by helping all these people through all the different ministry opportunities that they provided. The Graffiti Outreach Center in itself shows us how a pastor can use his platform to exemplify what God values and how we should live our lives. It's all about reaching out to people and helping them find Christ. It involves always sharing the Word of God in all of our life situations, but living each day just as Christ did. It allows people to see God in our everyday life and the struggles that we face just because we're living out just as He told us to. I bet next time you see graffiti somewhere, you'll think that you won't just think that it's vandalism, and you'll think about all the different things that God values in life.